Addison, you need to mute. Hello, welcome to our next case study. Today we're going to look at free speech and where that free speech ends. George is a Student Government Association president at Celebrity High School. The SGA has a Facebook page that is used to share important school announcements, photos, and to gather feedback for new ideas. The SGA page has more than 15,000 likes. Many parents and teachers like the Facebook page, and it's often cited as a great contributor to school spirit and student engagement. You are a superintendent and receive a phone call from a Celebrity High School principal. She reports that the SGA uploaded a photo of the school board on its Facebook page. The picture has been photoshopped to include silly things like mustaches and clown hats on the board members. She said that she did not ask the SGA to take it down because it was innocuous enough, seemed like a good way to support free speech, and she candidly confided that she was pleased to see the students take an interest in the board. In the principal's opinion, the photo is not the problem. It is the comments under the photo that have now become a concern. George, the SGA president, brought the comments to her attention. She needs your advice. A parent posted the comment, "Forget the clown, you need to draw vampire teeth on John. He has sucked enough blood from the budget this year." A high school teacher responded, "Now, leave John out of this. If you want to throw darts, you should take aim at the fat bald guy in the central office first." The same parent responds back, "Mrs. Wood, you're right. You would think his fake degree and inside connections with the mayor would have been uncovered by now." At the end of the day, there were more than 150 likes to this comment, including likes from several teachers at the high school. Freedom of speech. Students have the right to voice their opinions as long as they don't affect someone else's rights. Freedom of speech. Board of members have the right to their opinions as stated above. Freedom of speech. Did the comments step over the line to be liable toward the two central office personnel? Freedom of speech. What needs to be done next? Let's go to Kenny, a humanitarian viewpoint. Kenny?
So, from the humanitarian viewpoint, the Facebook page must come down immediately. It's not fair for the superintendent's name to be scandalized, and each of the employees who played a part in this should be reprimanded. It's not fair that people who are supposed to be role models to today's youth should be spewing things on social media without any type of recourse or reaction. If no action is taken, the superintendent could possibly sue for libel or slander. Can people prove that the superintendent doesn't have degrees? Can it be proven that he has inroads to the mayor's office? Students will see that they can post whatever they like and get away with it without any penalty. It's not fair for people to see this. In addition to the comments, students shouldn't Photoshop pictures. It's highly disrespectful. It's not fair to subject the superintendent and those photographed to this type of ridicule and scrutiny.
Okay, Tess is devil's advocate. Response to humanitarian.
Yes, well, Kenny, taking down the Facebook page would be violating the First Amendment rights. History of case law proves that the teachers and students have the right to express their opinions, even if unpopular. The first case that did this was Tinker v. Des Moines Independent Community School District when students were protesting the Vietnam War, which was very unpopular. Also, I'm not sure hurt feelings would meet the substantial disorder in the Tinker test. This free speech argument also is the same for faculty. Reprimanding faculty could be an issue, and we should examine Pickering v. Board of Education, where a teacher was fired because they wrote a letter disagreeing with handling the finances by the school board. The board claimed the statements in the letter were false and threatened the board's reputation, similar to what is happening in our case. The court decided that it was the teacher's right to exercise right to speak on issues of public performance. So in regards to the teacher who's commenting on the Facebook page, we could argue that it's their right to do this. In our case, also one could argue this is an issue of public concern and the comments are not affecting the teacher's performance. Or are they? We don't know. However, in regards to student publications, there has been school censorship that is okay. In Hazelwood School District v. Colmeyer, the Supreme Court indicated Tinker did not apply to a school newspaper since it was a school-sponsored activity. According to the court, when an activity is school-sponsored, school officials may censor speech as long as such censorship is reasonably related to legitimate educational concerns. The definition of legitimate educational concerns is the issue, and we could argue that the student government is a legitimate educational concern. Finally, in regards to parents, unfortunately they have the right as private citizens to say whatever they want, even if it's not very nice, and they can't really be punished. However, they could be sued for libel by the superintendent, but I will talk more about that in a moment. Additionally, there is possibility for censorship since commenting on a school-sponsored page, their comments can be removed, and they could also be blocked. Thank you all so much.
Okay, thank you. Now Kenny, the manager.
Okay, from the manager's perspective. One, we have to be careful how we approach this because we don't want to violate anyone's First Amendment rights. The picture is one thing, but the comments under the pictures are another. Before action can be made, it has to be determined if what was said is true or false. Just because something may be true does not mean it's ethical to share it. If it is true, then maybe we can provide some type of ethical training to teachers and to other administrators to know what should be shared in a public forum and what should not be. If the statements are false, then we could be looking at a case of slander or libel. Teachers will need to be interviewed and appropriate sanctions may be placed. We can use this also as a teaching tool about how to use social media, demonstrating to students the dangers and perils when social media goes wrong. Students are the first priority, then followed by the superintendent. I do feel that some action is necessary. Further investigation has to be followed up so we can outline a correct course of action. But this has to be a response, and we should do this immediately.
Okay, thank you. Now Tess, Devil's Advocate, response to the manager.
All right, thank you. So in response to the manager, Kenny, again, sometimes the truth hurts. In regards to the libel claim in which a statement is written, we need to look at malice and decide if the board is considered a public official or a private citizen. In New York Times Company v. Sullivan, courts ruled that public officials must prove actual malice. Malice is defined as the statement was made with knowledge of it being false or statement was made with reckless disregard whether or not it was true or false. It is unclear if these statements were false, and we need to know to what extent this would hurt the school official. Did he really do unethical things? Does he really have a fake degree? Is he really fat and bald? If actual malice cannot be proven, then this speech on this Facebook site is protected by the First Amendment. If proven malice, the comments need to be removed and the fat bald guy could sue. There are definitely issues with suit here for both defamations in terms of libel and also violating free speech. So the students could sue too, that if they removed the Facebook site, it was violating their right to free speech. But completely shutting down the Facebook page is unnecessary. The students use this for positive things as well, and it is important for the student government to learn how to handle these ethical situations such as this. Additionally, teacher ethics should be reviewed for the teacher's code of conduct. Are there regulations regarding uses of school websites? We're not sure. Then this would be an ethical violation for the teacher. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Addison, Techno Guru.
All right. Well, as Tess mentioned a case of Hazelwood School District versus Kohlmeyer. The Supreme Court indicated that that school officials may censor speech when it's related to legitimate educational concerns. So, in that spirit, there definitely has to be some sort of censorship to this Facebook page. So I suggest there is an appointed team of moderators consisting of faculty members and even key SGA cabinet members. And so the moderators would be responsible for immediately reviewing any new comments for appropriateness. So given the administrative password, they'll have access to the page, and moderators will receive a notification every time a comment is posted on the page. So these moderators get notifications through email, text messages, and even the Facebook mobile app. So they'll immediately be able to review any of these comments and take them down immediately if they're distasteful or controversial. The students and parents are free to make comments on their own personal Facebook pages, according to their freedom of speech. But anything posted on the SGA page is considered a matter of public domain. So if a photo is posted, they can take it and then alter it using any of their Photoshop or other software, and then they can repost it as their own. And that's just a matter of their freedom of speech. So it's what's posted on the SGA page that can be moderated. So any pictures posted by students or parents, as well as comments or posts, can be screened by this team of moderators before it's publicly released.
Okay, thank you. Now, Tess, Devil's Advocate, response to the Techno Guru.
Thank you, Alan. In response to Addison, our Techno Guru, I would like to say if we moderate everything, then how are students ever going to be heard on their views? How do we encourage students to be critical thinkers and take action when they see something wrong? This could be set up for a major censorship. And also in terms of who would be the moderator, then they would have to decide what was inappropriate or shouldn't be on the page, and that would be pretty subjective, so that may not really be that fair, because maybe the moderator hates the superintendent, so they just let everything get on the Facebook page. That's just an example, but that's my response to the Techno Guru. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's our wrap up. Now our final decisions and our solutions. We came up with 3 of them. The first one is going to be discuss issues with students and teachers regarding social media. Send sensitive newsletter to parents regarding use of school-sponsored social media, and we want to have a workshop to deal with this issue on social media appropriate usage for faculty and students. And finally, we're going to create a staff moderator for the Facebook page. If nothing else works, we'll take the Facebook page down. There you have it.